What's up, everybody? Welcome to After the Final Whistle, football talk with Jon and Montel.
What up, everybody? This is episode number 6. I'm Montel. We got John here as well. What's going on, boss?
Not much, not much. How's your week been, my man?
It ain't been too bad. Went by quick. My TV died this week, but that's just life. When it throws you lemons, you got to make beef stew. So, what you got for the injury report?
So injuries this week. We'll start with Julio Jones. Re-aggravated his hamstring. Hasn't been practicing, so we'll see if he plays this week. I think he was limited today in practice. AJ Brown, not necessarily an injury, but he came out yesterday or today saying that he can't keep anything down still.
Yeah, I think
but he
from like Chipotle or something. Tweeted him.
but he played last week through it, so I could see him playing this week through him. Trying to think if there's any other major injury news that needs to be talked to. Christian McCaffrey's got at least one more week on the IR, I believe. Baker Mayfield went on to the IR. He's got like a fracture humerus in the same shoulder he had that torn labrum in. So
I find it funny. Well, not funny, but weird. As good as that O line is, how much he gets hit.
right. Latavius Murray is still injured as well. So I think Le'Veon Bell got signed from the practice squad. Kadarius Toney, Evan Ingram, basically any pass catcher for the New York Giants is out or injured.
Zach Wilson's in trouble.
Daniel Jones is in trouble.
What you said? New York, not the Jets.
The Giants.
Oh shit! Sorry, I thought you said.
Yeah, I think they signed Dante Pettis to the active roster from the practice squad.
He was never that good. He's like from Boise State, I think, and he was with Kellen Moore like some years ago, but he's never been like good. So they didn't really do themselves any favor with that.
Yeah. All right. So that's basically what I have for injury news. Damian Williams has potentially coming off of the COVID list to return to play, I think, Saturday.
He better play. He's on my fantasy team. I dropped Julio, so 2/3 of this injury report is like on my list. So I need somebody to play.
Right. Some good news for the injury list. Jarvis Landry came off of it, off of IR. We'll see how long that lasts because I heard he may have hurt himself in that Thursday night game last night.
Hilarious, but accurate for Jarvis Landry and also those Odell Beckham. But the new crop of LSU receivers in the league are probably a lot more healthy. So,
right. So that's what I have. What do you have for news around the league?
I'm going to start with an interesting one. The Dolphins and Texans are apparently working out a trade for Deshaun Watson to go to the Dolphins. The Texans reportedly want 3 firsts and 2 seconds. Are you going to bite on a deal like that? I know I wouldn't give up anything like that unless it's like Madden. That's just a ridiculous ask, especially for those, what do you have, like 22 pending allegations against him. That's a big risk to take. Mortgage your future like that.
I got 2 words for that. The first one is hell, and the second one is no.
I see, same page. Yeah, I like Deshaun. I mean, he's a good player, but I need the legal stuff to play out before I make the move.
Yeah.
But the Dolphins, they have a lot of first round picks because they're mortgaged. Well, they pretty much like bent the Texans over a few years ago, I think, with Laramie Tunsil. So I don't know why they like trading so much, but yeah, they're apparently working out a deal.
I mean, Tua doesn't look bad. He just needs a little bit more experience because he really hasn't played that many games so far.
I'm with that. I think he just kind of like Josh Rosen with the Cardinals, right? They draft him in like the top 10, and then they give him a year. He has a decent rookie year, and then they got this nice shiny toy in Kyler Murray and kind of just threw him by the wayside. So hopefully the
Yeah.
Dolphins give Tua a chance. I think he's good. He won't be great. He'll be like the Kirk Cousin, like Andy Dalton kind of quarterback, middle of the league that can catch fire. But yeah, I think he's
Right. But yeah, I'm with you. The legal stuff needs to play out. And then even if he does play, um, air quotes there, he's going to have a suspension or the commissioner's list before he can even take a snap.
right. And I think for me, like if legal stuff aside, the very most I'd be willing to give up is like 2 firsts and maybe like a third or a fourth. Uh, 3 firsts and 2 seconds. I mean, that's over the course of what we'll say two or three drafts. You're looking at giving up anywhere from 3 to 5 years in the draft. That's kind of stupid. For I mean, I'd say he's top 7. What do you think?
Yeah, I think
When top 7.
when he plays, when he's healthy, I'd put him in the top 10 for sure. But we haven't seen him this year with the talent on that team.
Talent on the Texans? What talent?
I mean, you have Cooks.
That's it. Got a
I'm
bunch of up dudes.
so. I mean,
Arizona's like the retirement home, and I don't know what the freaking Texans are. But
right.
I guess the next thing I don't know if you've heard of this guy named Derrick Henry. He's completely nobody, obviously, but he is apparently 217 rushing yards away from being one of 3 players to rush for 1,000 yards in just 7 games. The other two are Jim Brown and O.J. Simpson.
He is a different level of athlete.
Man, he's a defensive end playing running back. It's almost unfair. And they also have a 17th game this year. He ran for 2,000, I think, last year, or pretty damn close. Now he has an extra game, so I think he'll definitely set the single season rushing record this year if he stays healthy.
Yeah. Yeah. He's just a beast among men out there. I mean, you can't stop him.
Nope. It's kind of like death and taxes, man. You can try and avoid them, but eventually they'll catch up with you. And yeah, I don't know how he got drafted. And I honestly, bias aside, think he's probably one of the top 3 running backs.
Would you say McCaffrey's still in the top 3, even though the past 2 seasons he cannot stay on the field?
I'd say talent wise, he still would probably belong there. Yeah.
Talent wise, yeah, I'll say top 5 anyways. But just I'm starting to wonder if all of those touches have caught up to McCaffrey at the NFL level that he had in his first few seasons.
Uh, you know, hard to say honestly. Like he doesn't the tackles or anything like that. Doesn't he runs like a lot of wide zone and catches balls out of the backfield. So, um, like what I'm getting at is running an ISO. You know, ISO lead play is a lot different than running like a wide zone. Usually if you're running ISO, you're smashing right into somebody, 30, 40 times a game. Wide zone, you have a little bit more opportunity to make folks miss. But I don't know. I guess we could probably chart how many carries he's had, but Derrick Henry averages like 32 carries a game. So I don't know. I don't think the carries
Yeah,
will catch up with Henry probably until uh, maybe it's like 30-year-old season. So I think 3 or 4 years from now.
yeah. I'm just, you know, starting to lean towards maybe McCaffrey's just beat up. I mean, great player when he's healthy, but he missed most of last season, and so far at the beginning of this season, it's not looking promising.
You think he's cooked?
Still too early to tell, but that's kind of how I'm starting to think.
Me personally, I like the dude. I hope he has a season kind of like Adrian did in 2012. Kind of towards ACL in the last game, I think, of the season. Came back and won NFL Comeback Player and MVP. So, I wish McCaffrey some luck as long as he's not playing the Vikings.
Yeah, I mean, I want him to come back and be healthy. It just seems like his body is starting to go against him.
Yeah, and he's a smaller frame dude too. What he's like, maybe like 5'7". I think they have him listed at 205. They might be generous. He's just a small dude playing with big dudes. So naturally you're going to
Yeah,
just going to there.
yeah. So that's
Yeah.
just
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
yeah. I was just saying. So that's just what I was thinking. That was it before we moved on.
Oh gosh. Okay. Next thing I got is Kimbrel Tompkins. Wasn't like a impact player or anything for the Patriots or the Raiders or the Jets, but he was convicted of getting some of those COVID-19 relief funds, and homie might be going to jail. What a freaking idiot!
Jesus.
Yeah, let's see. It says former NFL wide receiver and South Florida native has pleaded guilty to stealing identities to fraudulently obtain coronavirus related unemployment insurance benefits in California. Uh, Stupid. They will find your ass. What did I just say? Death in Texas. They will find your ass. 100%.
Exactly.
Let's see. One more. Well, I got two more actually. Um, our guy Miles Garrett. Did you hear he got randomly drug tested again?
Yeah, the blood drawn this time because he went
Mm.
sleeveless for a second game.
He went sleeveless another game, and they won't let him do a urine sample. They have to do a for HGH. So HGH, that's a human growth hormone for those who don't know acronyms. But dude, why? Like, just leave the dude alone. He's just a beast,
Right. You want to hear another a little side note to this?
Yeah,
The Jaguars kicker that kicked the game-winning field goal in London to break like the 20-game losing streak got randomly drug tested.
Ain't no way. Okay, hold on. Rewind. So you're telling me I'm going to talk about Justin Tucker again? Freaking bangs a 66-yarder and doesn't get drug tested for that. I'm going to drug test the guy who's kicking over 60 over the guy that just broke the freaking a winning streak. What are they thinking? Like, I don't know. Oh, God, that is. I guess they put some different stuff in the water in Jacksonville. So.
I guess, but it's not been a great secret that the random drug test isn't that random.
No, I think Pat McAfee had one like years ago. I think where he kicked it from like the one 10-yard line to the other 10-yard line, and they definitely they had it waiting for him after the game. So that random my ass.
The Packers punter to get one because he like kicked an 82-yard punt in the game last week.
Now that is something I would definitely. I'm gonna leave it alone. I can't rant this week. I've had the energy for it, but
yeah,
ridiculous. The last little bit I got, I found this question actually like browsing Reddit. It was, which player do you realistically hope your team trades before the deadline?
Yeah, so for me, the Packers can go ahead and trade Kevin King for a bag of dog poop, and I'll be happy.
Isn't he the one that costed like the NFC Championship game last year?
Correct, because he can't cover Scotty Miller.
Good God. I mean, it can't be worse than Jamal Adams. All the memes out there about him not being covered are cracking me up this week.
So, but realistically, like if we were talking just to get talent wise back, pains me to say it, but Devontae Adams, because I can't foresee the Packers doing the right thing and paying the man the way he needs to be paid.
That's just like Green Bay's mind. Find a way to piss off their star players without they don't want to pay them. I'm trying to figure out like who on the Vikings I would trade. Since you gave two, I'll give two. One of them would probably be Anthony Barr. The other one, um, even though he's playing really good this year, would probably be Kirk Cousins. I say Barr to like why. Teams are obviously interested in him. A couple years ago, the Jets apparently signed into a contract. Barr got homesick, pretty much called and said he'd take less to stay. But he just doesn't. He doesn't play up to his salary. Kirk Cousins, because he looks good right now, dude. You can probably fleece somebody and give me a couple of first round picks and maybe some late round picks for him. The Vikings are one of those teams where they don't do enough to not get completely over the 500 hump. You know, it's consistently like 9-7, 10-6, 8-8. Train wreck years like 4-12. So me personally, if you can get a 2 first round picks, maybe a third and a fourth for Kirk, and kind of rebuild towards the future. I think Zimmer's probably gone after this year anyway. So might as well get the new head coach some new shiny toys to play with.
Right. I mean, you all still have a fairly new one in Justin Jefferson.
Yeah, he's working out. I guess that's the perfect segue into our next segment here. How'd your fantasy teams do?
So I'll start with the one that hurts me to say it, but in the money league, I got my ass kicked. I lost by like 30, 40 points. It was like 153 to 129.
She.
Yeah. And then in the Just for Fun league, I'm on a winning streak. I've won back-to-back weeks. Don't remember the score to that one, but I think it was like 132 to like 118.
Let me go look here. Yep, 135 to 122. So you're very close. Yep. If I lose another game to someone who's incompetent in this money league, John, I'm probably gonna lose my shit.
I mean,
I
don't
lost to
take this week too seriously because of how many teams with relevant players are on bye.
I really don't care. I lost to the guy that was in last place in both divisions. Regardless of what division you put him in, he would have been in last place. He was one in like 3. And he beat me by 6. Our running backs, I think, put up a combined like 4 points. So, and I lost 105 to 109. I put a guy on the bench because ESPN said he was hurt. Turns out he wasn't hurt. Who knew? And he actually played. And if I'd have just started him, I probably would have won the game. And the other league, it's just a wash at this point. I'm 1-5. I probably wouldn't update my roster anymore. Just like set it for every week and then just forget it. I'm not probably going to check anymore. I lost 86 to 128.
Oh no.
Yeah.
That's
Uh,
rough.
yeah. I mean, he's not bad. He's won the league, I think, twice, but I usually have a much better outing than that against him. So
Yeah.
I don't know. It's irritating. This is like a stressful fantasy year for me.
It's
Yes, me.
been rough for you this year. I mean, still not out of it. Extra week. I mean, you still got a couple more weeks to try to get the ship turned around.
Yeah, hopefully not directly into a ocean, but I'm gonna leave it alone, and we'll, like I always say, I'll keep trying. I mean, I like to win the $300 in the other league, and I like the bragging rights in the other. So,
Right.
so annoying, so annoying. All right, we'll move on. Let's talk about some of our predictions from last week. So, your record for the week before, not this past week, but the one before, was 2-1 overall. Write these down now. So that's okay. And then you said the Cardinals would stay undefeated and beat the Browns 42-35. They actually did them a lot worse, 37-14. You said the Packers would win 28-10 against the Bears. They won 24-14. So you were 2-1 for this week. Let's see. And then for me, I had the Broncos 10-24. They ended up winning 34-24. I called the Cowboys beating the Patriots. I said 27-17. They actually won 35-29. I said the Vikings would beat the Panthers 24-17. They won 34-28. So I also went 2-1 this week.
There you go.
Yep, that brings our grand total. You're 12-5. I'm 8-9. So I'm making the comeback.
You are. You are. What about the London game, the Jags versus Dolphins?
Dude, I completely forgot about those. To be honest, I didn't even add them to the. I'm sorry. Don't be mad. So it looks like we had. Let me take a look here. Let's see. You said the Dolphins would win. No, the Jags would win 26-20. I said the Dolphins would win 27-10. The Jags actually won.
So, congratulations, Jags, on your first win in 20 games.
How sad. 20 games. Like, I don't think I've lost 20 games in my life.
I mean, like that was their first win since like the week 1 of last season.
Yeah, when they took that stupid picture talking about undefeated, and you were definitely defeated 20 consecutive times.
Yeah. Yeah.
Goodness gracious. All right. Well, that was that's yeah. I'm not gonna say it again. The Jags are a dumpster fire. You got some feedback there. The Jags are a dumpster fire. Will always be. We'll move on to the next predictions for this coming up weekend. You've got Bengals at Ravens, Bears at Buccaneers, football team at the Packers.
All right. So I'll just start up at the top. I want to say Ravens over the Bengals. The Ravens defense has been improving and they looked extremely good against, I think it was the Colts last week. No, it wasn't the Colts. I don't remember who they played last week. Colts kind of just whooped up on who
Chargers.
they played. The Chargers, yeah, holding the Chargers. What was it, to like 6 points, 9
Yeah,
points?
I think I'm actually 2 field goals. 3. It was 6.
So I'm gonna say Ravens 28, Bengals 17.
I can see it. I mean, Lamar
Even
looking good.
then, I mean, AFC North teams, I feel like will be more defensive than that, but we'll see.
It's the other black and blue division.
Yep. And then I want to take the Buccaneers over the Bears, even with all of the people being out on the Buccaneers side of the ball. I mean, you have Antonio Brown, Rob Gronkowski, Richard Sherman, and like one other player already rolled out for the game. So I'm going to say 21-10 in favor of the Buccaneers.
All right, and the Bucks 21. Okay, I can do that. I can see it.
And then Packers over the Washington football team. I'm going to go ahead and say that one's going to be 24-13.
Okay, so Packers. What are they? Taking the 6-1.
That would make them 6-1. Yeah. They got hit in the mouth week 1, and they're like, "Oh, so this is how you play? Okay, we're fine."
Hit in the mouth, or like I don't even know how to. They got thrown off like the Hell in a Cell like Mankind week 1. It was ugly. I'm glad. I don't want to say I'm glad they turned it around, but I'll say this: Aaron Rodgers is on a revenge tour, and he's definitely leaving at the end of the season. He's playing for a contract somewhere else.
And right, and the offensive line is just getting healthier because Bakhtiari came back to practice this week.
What do you have? Was it a knee or like Achilles or something?
It was a torn ACL. He got it towards the end of the year last year, like right before the playoffs, or in the playoffs.
As a jealous Vikings fan, I will say he's probably 1A or 1B in terms of left tackles. My favorite is Trent Williams. So, but Bakhtiari, the way he legally gets away with holding every time he plays the Vikings is disgusting. I'm sorry, I'm laughing.
What about all of those holding penalties that didn't get called against the Broncos on holding Myles Garrett?
Man, okay. I'm gonna take a break between my predictions and talk about that. Joey Bosa complained about the same thing. He literally said the refs were blind. And usually when you talk about the refs, there's usually a pink slip that's in your locker afterwards with a nice big fine on it. So I think when you're somebody like Aaron Donald, Joey Bosa, Nick Bosa, Myles Garrett, you're just going to get held. And they're not going to call it. They'll probably call it 20% of the time in like a critical moment. But if it isn't like egregious where they like hog tie you and throw you on the ground, it's tough, man. You're going to get chipped, get hit when you're not looking. You're going to double team, triple team. They're not going to call it. So you got to suck it up and just play ball.
Right. I agree. I mean, as if offensive linemen didn't hold, I mean, imagine how much more disruptive these players would be.
And I'll say that you probably hear it like on like a telecast, but it's true. There is holding on every single play. It's just how does the only time they'll call holding is if you actually affected the play, right? So if I'm blocking you and you're trying to get off of me and I'm still holding on to you and I happen to like tug your jersey or something just long enough, they're gonna call it. But more often than not, if they get in a weird like contorting motion and you maybe give it like one Mississippi to let go, more often than not, they're not going to call it. So Miles Garrett, he's a big boy. He's probably been getting double teamed since he was in little league football. Beat it and go make a play.
Yeah, all he's got to do is wear long sleeves again, and he won't get held.
Right.
Hide those muscles.
You won't get held, and you won't get those random ass drug tests coming your way anymore.
Exactly.
So I'll talk about the games I have now. Oh, sorry, I missed your Packers score. You said 24?
I think I said 28 to
13?
13.
That we're talking. All right, so I've got Chiefs at Titans, Saints at Seahawks. Vikings are on a bye, so I don't have a third game. As you see, as a Packers fan, he'll get the same treatment in a couple of weeks. And we should have the same amount of games predicted at the end of the year. So, Chiefs at Titans. I really don't know how to call this one. I think it's. Let's see. I think it's one of the night games, isn't it? No, it's a noon game. Interesting.
Yeah, it's noon. The night games, man, they were expecting the teams to have better records, because I think we have Seahawks versus you just said it, who they play again this week.
Saints.
Yeah, Seahawks versus Saints, and then you have the 49ers versus
The Colts.
Colts Sunday night.
Perfect game. They should have flexed. You should have known that Titans and Chiefs would have good records. But anywho, I'm not gonna yell about the NFL bad at their job. I don't. Freaking Chiefs have like a run defense as soft as baby crap. So, I
Plus
think Derrick Henry does get those 217 yards though.
Yeah, the entire Chiefs defense is like bottom third of the league in terms of just against every position.
Yep. And that's because every position that matters on offense, they pay top 3 money to. So, I think I'll go the Titans 35. The Titans 35, the Chiefs 27. I think Derrick Henry is going to have another big day. Hopefully, you don't have to play against him in fantasy and he scores 50 points this week. But
I think I avoid the Derrick Henry both leagues this week.
excellent. I think I played him in both leagues. And John, you ever see somebody like snap a clipboard over their like thigh?
I have.
I probably could have done it with a railroad tie. I was so pissed. It's like how? What are the dumb luck that two people who don't even know each other play the guy? But that's a week one rant. Well, I'll leave that alone. Saints at Seahawks. It's like a battle. It's like the immovable force meets the irresistible object or whatever. I would have said, a couple weeks ago that the Seahawks win this easy, because of you got Geno Smith and Jameis for the Saints, and he hasn't been playing that good since week 1.
Right, but Alex Collins seems like he's leaning towards being out due to his injury from the game last week. So you'll have like DJ Dallas ? As the running back, maybe Rashad Penny.
This game is going to be absolutely terrible. Why do they make? Okay, I'm just going to spit it out. I'm going to say the Saints have a better defense, so it'll probably be Saints 24, Seahawks 10. I can't like this game. It's nothing against the NFL. Like you said, they probably anticipated the teams playing better, but God, I'd almost rather watch the freaking Falcons and who else played in London 2 weeks ago? The Falcons and the Jets.
Right.
That's what it's going to be like watching with it. There's no star power.
I mean, in a way, you're going to kind of get that. It's the Falcons versus the Dolphins this week.
It better not be prime time.
I think it's an afternoon game.
Okay, thank God. It's a noon game. I had to go look. I was literally about to throw my phone across the room. That is ridiculous. Okay. Um,
Kind of interesting, real quick, before we move on.
yeah.
We're about to have a double revenge game this week.
Who left where?
It's the Rams versus the Lions.
Oh, in the same game, did the quarterback.
Uh-huh. I mean,
I'm telling.
Rams easy, but
Oh yeah, the Rams probably win by 2 or 3 touchdowns. I'd be more afraid of Matt Stafford's pissed off than Jared Goff's like clueless stare into the abyss.
yeah, I
And
can see.
I know you've seen it. He
Oh,
looks
I have.
lost everywhere he goes. Like, what?
I mean,
Downset what?
didn't Dan Campbell call him out last week?
Probably because he sucks.
And I think he got called out by the head coach last week in the post game conference.
Probably a bad. They throw a pick.
He I think Campbell says that the quarterback needs to play better.
Well, I mean, he's not wrong. Should have kept
No.
Matt Stafford. Just saying, but
Yeah, I can see Matt Stafford throwing like 4 or 5 touchdowns.
oh, it's going to be 4 TDs and easy 350 yards. Easy. Kirk Cousins did it, so I know he's going to torch their ass.
But I just thought that was a little interesting. And then I guess on one side of the ball, it's a revenge game too. You have the undefeated Cardinals with Hopkins and J.J. Watt playing the Texans
Who are slipping in the
with Davis Mills as still the quarterback.
poor Tyrod, man. I'm gonna leave that Tyrod thing alone, but
Tyrod, they were thinking he'd be back this week, so it seems like he'll be back hopefully next week. But they need him. They look like a much more competent team with him behind it than Davis Mills.
Yep, and that's just because I don't know. I think David Mills or whatever his name, he probably belongs in like the XFL or something. He's starting in the NFL. Whereas Tyrod has always been a competent backup, and I wouldn't say great starter, but he's not going to lose you any games with bad decisions like Mills.
He's a game manager. We'll call
right.
him that.
Got some wheels, so he can, Mike Vick Light. He played. They both went to VT, so I'll call him Mike Vick Light.
Yeah.
Yeah, but with that, I really ain't got nothing else, man. You got anything you want to cover before we hit that outro?
No, nothing comes to mind.
No. All right. Well, as always, we haven't got any voice messages yet, but we're anxiously waiting. Same thing for email. Haven't got one yet, but feel free to email your questions to after the final whistle podcast at gmail.com. We're available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Breaker, Google Podcasts, and Pocket Cast. There's some other lesser known platforms as well, but those are the main ones that I know that people use. If you want us to get set up on another platform, feel free to shoot us an email and let us know, and we'll look into it and make sure we make it happen. But with that, I'm Montel. There's John. Peace.
All right. Until next week, everybody. Take care.